So as the Sky Ripper makes his way down past the borders of the Sept, heading towards the gateway, Charlotte's flanked alongside him. It's a nice, comfortable walk. She wasn't used to being caught off guard the way she was walking, as suddenly the Silver Fang has summoned her. But then again, these things always seem to turn out a different way. As they're walking along, it's since the challenge that's set forth, you know it's going to be happening maybe a day or so. It depends on the right master itself. But that's not his concern. As you Charlotte can see that plain as day, as you're walking towards the gateway, you do find yourself at a small vehicle. A car of all things. Which is strange. As Skyripper opens the door for you, you get in. It's a nice little, one of those nice little functional kind of vehicles. I don't know American cars very well, but it's something that's middle class, something very easy to kind of pass through. But you notice he drives, and Skyripper has never dressed well. He's, even for one that surprised you as many Silver Fangs, the clothes are raggedy. They hang off him. His hair is, again, washed, but doesn't have the same shine that you see other people going with. His beard is a bit more shaggy and unkempt. As you're driving along, you pass through the standard bridge that heads to Deluth itself. As you know, you're beginning to head to somewhere towards the burbs. He'll eventually turn to you and say, I haven't been to this house since I came to the Sept.
She kind of blinks over at him, like you did a walkthrough and never came back.
Part of the reason I bought it was some of the kin I had at the time bought it as part of me to functionally live, and myself, Christy, Rides, Mark, we all bought it, and we were going to live there. And after Christy died, I decided never to come back. We just never talked about it, but I still pay the bills for it and all that.
Oh. Oh.
A lot of it has the old stuff from my people's house. You know?
Yeah. Jesus, has anyone been in it?
I imagine there's cleaners that keep it up to date, you know? But it's just been sitting there, building.
Huh. Okay. Are you she kind of like shoots him a little side glance. Are you gonna be cool?
Yeah, no, I'll be fine.
Okay.
I normally should probably bring Lena and these people, but I thought since I did invite you.
There's the easygoing little shrug. I appreciate it. Besides, she'll reach over and like try to loosen up a little. Give him like the that casual little shoulder shove you do. Not like in any strong kind of way, just a little nudge. It'll be neat to see how you highfalutin fancy folks live. Grinning.
I take it you have opinions on what I did.
There's the shrug that and it complete with that like the eyes kind of slowly shift offside like that's none of my business, which means yes in a pretty clear kind of way.
Well, let me hear it. He's like turning a corner, stopping at a red light.
I actually really like the idea of you as Wormfoe. It's a solid move, and if you're someone that people need to see at the front, and you're someone that people need to know is involved and leading and looking up to, it's the good place to be. Kind of ruffles her hair a bit. And I might be kind of biased, but I kind of wish that there'd been tactical challenge prior. It's kind of a nose crunch, but I don't actually talk to the current order or Wormfoe, really. So I don't know. But I do like you as Wormfoe. I like the idea, and I hope you win. I just hope that he turns around and makes a move of his own. He was tapped in pretty good. It wouldn't be a bad place. It wouldn't be a bad person to have in that spot. I mean, I say that not having any idea how Siggy works.
Siggy is a tough woman. But it was his oversight that allowed her defenses to be compromised. The warder and Wormfoe must work hand in hand.
Little nose scrunch. I like you as Wormfoe. I think I'd like him better as Warder.
That'll be a more difficult task.
She just kind of offers a helpless shrug, like hands and all.
But it's not an impossible one.
What, you think he'd be game for it?
It depends on what you can do.
What I can do.
What we can do.
There's a bit more confidence. A little bit of a grin comes out. Yeah?
Well, we'll see.
But yeah. Yeah, I like it.
Good.
Yep, I got my pom-poms at the ready.
We'll see what challenge there is.
No idea. Kind of ruffles her hair again. Like,
Right.
it's an anxious gesture.
If I know a gleaming eye, it's going to be something very interesting.
How do you know a gleaming eye?
That's what the Master of Challenges is.
She just grins. The question stands.
You can tell by the way they look. They always look like they're about to strike. So I imagine it's going to test both of our abilities to the point where we rely on the things that we never relied on before.
This is a thoughtful squint. Well, I've still got my pocket pom-poms at the ready. She'll be admittedly still distractedly kind of glancing around as he's driving. For once, like, let me note, they get in the car and he gets in the driver's seat and she just looks so happy.
Yeah, and he
Because
drives.
do you have any idea how many people on this set can't drive kind of happy? And yeah, is still kind of trying to keep alert to where they're going. Looking at, like,
you head out.
Yeah.
Yeah. You head out along the burbs. You stop by what looks to be this type of house that's kind of singled out, not detached. You turn up a laneway, and there it is. Lovely exterior. The garden has been cut and trimmed. You can tell, on the money, Silver Fang Inn.
Like, leans over. That's a pretty nice house.
It is. He gets out.
Yeah, once he's pulled up into the drive and stopped, yeah, she even eagerly kind of hops out of the car. It's like, oh my god, I left the sept with a person who could drive, and we went to a house, a real honest-to-God house.
He fiddles with the keys, opens the door, and the rooms more or less look like this.
It's fancy. Or at least nice. Like, well appointed, and more to the point, like, I assume it's actually clean. Like, there's no layer of dust. There's no...
Yep. What's odd for you is the only layer of dust and dirt comes off him.
Yep. She will be polite enough to stand back the step, but as he moves in, yeah, she pops inside and is immediately just looking around, looking to see the state of the house, like what condition it's been kept in, glancing around to see if they're like highfalutin enough to have like security cameras anywhere or anything like that. Even like the little door cam that some people have.
Yeah, you can see a door cam.
Yep. She spots that and is like, but yeah. She is doing that thing that people do when they're visiting someone and seeing their house for the first time, where it's like, I will not run all over your house just to see what's where, but I want to. I really want to. I will just excitedly look at everything I can see from where you lead me.
Skyripper just kind of walks around, really. He looks like a man that's almost out of time. You know, as he walks and puts his hands on the window, he leaves actually muddy fingerprints on the window.
Vibrates in Glasswalker. Yeah, she'll kind of follow him room to room. But seeing as she is walking behind, we'll appreciate that he's kind of the only source of grime in the building. And finally kind of will, as they come around through a couple rooms back into that like main like front entrance area, kind of glances upstairs. Do you actually have a bedroom even? Does it even have your things in it?
Supposedly has things that will fit me, I was told.
He promptly gets like a nudge in the back. Go take a shower. Like a real shower.
I showered earlier.
No, a real shower. Not jump in the lake. A real shower. With fancy shampoos and shit. Nudge, nudge, nudge. Like, it's kid sistery almost. Like, it's that nudge in the small of the back, like dunk, dunk, dunk. Go take a real shower.
He kind of awkwardly heads upstairs. You can see he's like, as he wanders up.
Can I be nosy while you're taking a shower? Is there anywhere
Sure.
like shouldn't go?
Shrugs as he's walking up.
Oh. Yeah, she keeps being a pest, like all the way to like what's clearly like a door off of the hallway and probably like a no shit bedroom door. Like dunk dunk dunk. But yeah, she'll let him wander in there and then we'll detach. And especially when she like hears water start running from out in the hall, she will shamelessly float around the house and start exploring because she's a nosy person in a new house that's actually well upkept. Like, this looks like it should be in a magazine. Like, it's that kind of clean, everything's all feng shui and tidy and on its shelf or in its place, and oh my god, I want to see it.
You will find what definitely is on the wall in a kind of coat of arms is what you recognize as from your Guru lore, that's the clan's, that's the house symbol of House Crescent Moon. It's like this big kind of essentially vulture.
And who all is she regularly selfie combating with besides Zuri?
Maria, Zuri, Neri, and I would say fucking, who is it now? Let me look at my set members.
I know Abel does it once in a while. Like, she has a handful of people that every once in a blue moon do, and then she has a couple people that, like, every day it's just constant chatter.
Maria, every day, Maria, Zori, Neri, a bit of Anton, and Abel would be your main selfie people.
How big is this fucking coat of arms?
Huge.
Is this, like, bigger than she is tall?
Yeah.
I feel like she's gonna get she has to get a selfie with the thing, and I'm trying to think of who she would most likely like knee jerk send it to. Like, are you seeing this shit?
I don't know. Who?
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that at the very least, Felix has a vague idea of like what she gets up to at any given point. He is a constant back and forth. So yeah, he has been given the heads up that she's heading out with Skyripper, and he will eventually get like that fucking selfie that's like, even the expression is like one of those dork faces, and she's like, "Are you seeing this shit? It's bigger than me."
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she's just walking around. That's probably the only thing she's gonna straight selfie because that's enormous, and that is probably the biggest, finest Garou-based thing that she has ever seen. But yeah, she'll keep floating around.
Oh yeah.
Looking in rooms, like pokes her nose into bedrooms just to see if they're generic, if they're styled for different people.
It's very old style. Like this is some old ass European shit. You know what I mean? Like this stuff is even more older, like than you see. This sort of stuff is typically not in America. You know what I mean? This is definitely
like
a more Georgian style house. Yes,
antique furniture and shit, and she's just like, "Are you fucking?" This is older than my country.
You actually see a very young Sky Ripper.
Where?
Very young. There's a small picture set. There is 3 children. One is definitely him. They're probably like early teens, like not early teens, late teens, but 19 to 20. One look definitely him. Bit younger, less shaggy, less grey. He looks. I mean, they all look fucking stunning. You know what I mean? You're not sure where the sept is, but it looks like in the mountains somewhere.
Oh yeah, she is. Short of like straight digging through drawers and shit, she is like in every room, poking around, looking at what's been set where. Like just being a nosy fucking kid.
You do find a portrait then, like a proper painting of someone on the wall in one of the rooms, close to where he is showering.
Like in the bedroom he went into? That I assume the bathroom's connected to.
It looks like.
Yeah, when she's sure he's in the shower, she might even like poke her nose in just to be like, "What's in here?"
Yeah, you see it.
Ugh. There's a big fuck off painting.
Underneath is written in, again, it's another Garou symbol from your Garou lore. That is a symbol of House Bordeaux. Not the House Bordeaux, House Wormful.
Link. Yeah, I mean, she takes a glance at it, but she's not going to linger in his fucking room because he's going to come out of the shower eventually. And But yeah,
so what
like
do you do?
all over the place. She's going to nose around, see, like, just probably go in it at some point, be like, "Oh my god, this is the biggest kitchen." And "Oh my god, this is the newest fucking nicest shit." And yeah, if there's a computer, if there's like, she really is just kind of room to room being nosy as fuck.
Yeah, there's a lot of computers. There's a lot of law books, as you discover that there is even a law degree. You know what I mean? With his name on it. You know.
Yep, up in one of the frames somewhere.
Mm-hmm. And you hear the thump, thump, thump coming. Someone coming downstairs. Then
does he at anywhere, like even if it's on the mantle or if there's an area where he has photos framed? Like, are there pictures of the pack as a whole?
Say that again.
Are there pictures of his pack? Like any photos just of them or them together?
You will see. Yes, you will actually see this woman and Sky Ripper together. There is a wedding photo.
Oh, awkward.
And there is another man who looks similar to Sky Ripper, but his hair is not as red. It's actually got some grey tinges to the side of it. He looks a lot more serious.
Are there any other photos of that person?
Yes, there's ones of him with Sky Ripper as well. The two of them are like arm in arm together, and there's another older man with like thick red hair and very grey hair. You reckon that's family, judging by the way the photos are standing. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, and I mean she knows his brother is a thing at this point, so she's trying to set his face to memory.
Yeah, he basically he looks more like an older version of Sky Ripper with kind of more grayish to his red, essentially. Far more darker eyes than Sky Ripper has.
Yeah. And yeah, when she hears him dunking down the stairs, she will emerge, kind of poke her nose out.
Yeah, you see him come down the stairs. The hair is flicked back. The beard is even trimmed. You see he's wearing one of these kind of button-up shirts. Like I said, now that he's kind of gotten all the grime and dirt, he just walks down the stairs there's very easy maritime grace about him, you know?
Like, pokes her head out, looks up. Oh my god, you look like people. Sorry, say again?
He just says,
You actually look like people. Who knew?
Feels weird to look like him again.
Does it feel bad?
No, just strange. As if someone has taken over for a while.
There's kind of a thoughtful squint. I just want to note, for the record, they're essentially saying being clean and well-dressed feels weird. You lose 2 points, but only 2.
It's not even feeling clean and well dressed. Just being here again.
I mean, it's nice, but is it what you would have done? Kind of glancing around at all the decor and shit.
It's what she would have liked. Smiles as he's looking around.
I mean, if it's good enough for you.
You walk over and pick up one of the bits of vases and stuff and just look at it strangely.
Like, man, who the fuck bought this?
It's as if I'm a stranger in here. That's all.
I mean, if validation helps, if you've only ever walked through like once. She kind of says, like, looking up at the ceiling, because it's like, for all I know, there's even like fucking detailing on the goddamn ceilings.
There is.
Oh god. Yeah, she's just kind of taking it in. But
you look over his shoulder.
What?
You seem more excited about it than I am.
I mean, you have any idea how long I've been trying to move into like a proper house or even an apartment? The eyes kind of stray back up towards the ceiling again, like, holy crap, even the ceilings.
Why would you like to trade places?
I don't know. Civilized looks pretty good on you.
Like, he'll run his hand through his hair and flick it out of his face for a change. And I mean, yeah, Skyripper looks stunning. You know what I mean?
Man, this light fixture. What a nice light fixture it is.
Not used to wear dressed like this. Although, I do remember the balls from the early days. Shakes his head.
I mean, if there's stuff you don't like. She says, like, again, just kind of musing over, like, we've gone from painting there to wallpaper here to, man, look at that molding, like, everything about it. Then change it. Make it a place that's comfortable. Still looking around.
But if I change it, looks over, and I can't remember.
Kind of a shrug. You don't have to change everything.
But even one little thing I'll obsess over. Just kind of walks around curiously looking at everything.
She putters along with him and is probably going to even at one point, like, pull up on her phone to see if there's like no shit Wi-Fi attached to the house, see if she
There
can
is.
get into it, see if there's things like just for fun. Kind of scrolls through like when she can get into the network, if she can, to see if there's like wireless printers anywhere in the house.
There is.
Hmm.
You look up, stare at the law degree. I remember when I got that.
How the fuck did you manage that?
I was a kinfolk before I turned.
Well, okay. Still, like, how old were you when you changed?
25.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, that makes a certain amount of sense. Squinty face.
Yeah, he's like late 30s, you know? Looks stunning, but late 30s.
She proceeds to start essentially covertly consulting the selfie and picture collective, like trying to see if she can get photos of the like even especially if they're, well, I guess either the person knew their picture was being taken or even if they didn't, like pictures of his various pack mates. Consulting the masses.
There is actually pictures you do see of his pack mates. One is Rides, with a big kind of drunken smile. The other is the blue hair girl that you saw. She is, you can tell she's a glassworker just because of the way that camera angle is done. It's fucking pitch perfect. You know what I mean?
Is it a selfie? The
Yeah.
most immaculate selfie of all time.
Yeah. The other is Mark, who's like mid-eating something, looking up. And then there's one there that's Lena, who is lied down on the grass somewhere, like her head looking up at the clouds. And it looks like he took one of her when she was almost like enjoying herself for a change.
Madness. Okay, I wasn't sure because prior it sounded like there were not any pictures of current pack. And considering he hadn't been back here since coming to the Sept, she really wouldn't have been that surprised.
You get the impression he probably handed them to Kin to bring it back here eventually. You know what I mean? You walk over to the pictures and pick up the woman, the girl with the blue hair. If she could see me now.
What'd she say?
She'd laugh.
Which part?
But I went and challenged for Wormfall. And then I managed to actually get myself all very, very fancy.
You're not even that fancy yet. You're just in people clothes. I mean, admittedly, they're nice people clothes. Like, that is... I'm not going to check the tags, but I'm pretty sure that costs more than, like, the average person makes in a month.
She'd just laugh. She'd been trying to get me into doing it for years.
I mean, there was a time delay, but success was achieved.
Yeah. Suppose you're right.
Darn tootin', I'm right.
Look over his shoulder. So what do you want to eat?
Blink. Like, blinks out for a second.
Walks towards the kitchen.
What did they... Like, follows? Because of all the things that she did poke around in, she didn't bother to check the fridge because that would have, I don't know, been weird.
He opens it. There's nothing there.
Funny thing about nobody living here, would have cost a lot of money, I feel, to, like, you know, keep a fridge perpetually stocked and cycled.
Holds up his finger. I have a plan.
You have a plan? She, like, pokes her head around, like glancing in the fridge, like, doink.
Walks over to the phone. Picks up the phone. Hey, yo, Papa John. You know what I mean?
Can hear her laughing.
He orders like 2 big large sets of pizzas, a lot of fries, a lot of additional, like, you know, little dough balls and all that.
Weirdo. Papa John's don't serve fries. Get out of here with that weak shit.
I'm whatever, Katie.
No, yeah, but pizzas, sodas, they've got like
Yeah.
cheesy garlic breads and like sweet breads
Yeah.
and all sorts of shit.
All orders all that shit. Puts the phone back down on the receiver and looks over. See? Plaid.
The perfect plan. A pretty mundane plan. I dig it.
Yeah.
It's like normal and shit. Meanwhile, she's like wandered into the other room and proceeds to, with like once she is sure that she is not dirty enough that she's going to mess anything up, it will be doing that thing where it's like, I could walk around and just sit on the couch, or I could flop over the back of it like a dumbass.
You just see him wandering around. Stops at the big picture, though.
She will pretend really hard not to be paying attention and continues to whip up this this competition of who's got the best photo of that pack in one photo together.
He just smirks, watching you, and then he'll stop right in front of that big picture. Right in front of it.
Yep, pretending so hard not to pay attention, though she is trying her best to keep kind of a side eye on his posture. Because, like, if he's turned to face it, he can't, like, she's not going to be able to see it so much unless he's on the other side of her.
No, he's turned to face it.
Does he deflate at all?
A little bit. It's very subtle.
There's there'll be a pause as she like whips people up and gives him a second. Though what she will do when she does pop back up is will literally do so alongside him, like boing, suddenly there.
You eventually notice he's staring up at it. You can see the corner of his eye look over at you.
There's a slow head tilt. That's an old school painting.
Tatiana liked her old school. She commissioned it about a month before I changed.
How big is this painting?
Pretty damn big.
Like, doom.
Mm-hmm. She said, Julian, you may be from the old world, but I am from the new and the old, and I decided that fuck it. We'll get both. She got a big painting. Apparently her grandfather did it for her.
Grandfather?
She's from House Bordeaux. No, not House Bordeaux. We shake his head. That is the family. She's House Wormful. They mainly made their home over in the Americas here. I'm from... You'll let out a breath. As you notice, his voice goes a bit deeper. From Clan Crescent Moon.
Shoots a side glance.
Sept of Crescent Moon on the Orla Mountain. Sometimes the accent gets a bit thick.
The eyebrow slowly goes up like you're fucking with me, right?
Neil twitches face a bit as you notice his voice kind of levels out a bit. Practiced talking like this since I moved to America with her. You know?
That's how you actually talk?
When I'm angry, yes.
Holy shit.
I was born in the Ural Mountains in Russia.
Holy shit anyways. So when you're mad, you sound like a monologue from, I don't know, a James Bond villain. Suddenly it gets really intense.
You didn't see my father. You haven't met my father.
Nope. Pretty sure you'd scare the poop out of me.
Yeah.
especially if he talks like that.
He does.
Yep. Like there's the firm nod, glancing back up at the painting. Definitely would scare the poop out of me. I'm
She had a
American.
much
We
more
can't
lighter
cope with
accent.
accents.
Tatiana used to talk like you. Very light, very fairy.
Another like brief sight glance, like wait. Can't decide if this is good or bad, glancing for confirmation.
Smirks. Compared to the harsh tones of some people, it was a welcome change.
Huh. I will take this as a compliment. So did you like living like this?
She was happy. I didn't mind.
She'll kind of try to keep it light, put on that teasing little grin, backpedal until she like bumps into the arm of the couch and like flops again. Bigger fan of campsites and eating squirrels? Glances around the arm.
That happened after, when I came originally to Ireland.
Wait?
You look her over when I was changed, and after the incident.
Yeah.
I was shipped off. I went to a sept in Ireland.
Oh.
Met Christy. Shakes his head. I met her there. Surprisingly, a glasswalker among a bunch of Fianna was an interesting thing.
Oh shit, really? She like heaves back up to like glance around for her photo again.
Yeah. She was doing some research.
Oh, so she wasn't from around there?
She's Canadian originally.
Canadian.
Canadian, eh? Smirk looking at the photo of her. I met Rise the Lightning traveling through there. We all shacked up together and we eventually traveled to the States together. About 10 years ago, we all arrived. Except for the Hearthfire.
She heaves up and again, you know, glancing between him and the photo of, what was it? Chrissy? Like glances back over.
The blue-haired one is Christy, yeah.
Yeah. She like glances at that again, glances over to him. Did she confirm the rumor that the reason that Canadian geese are so mean or that Canadians like do a mass ritual once a year to put all of their evil in the geese? That's why they're so nice and the geese suck?
She punched me when I asked her that.
Wasn't a very Canadian thing to do. Grins.
I know, I was surprised. I was surprised myself.
Did she apologize immediately afterwards?
Yes.
Little fist pump.
It's hard to believe. You know, I used to live out in North Carolina as well for a while with her. Went to a big, huge painting.
Like glances over to that. Do you guys just never buy paintings? You always just commission them at the places and people?
We're
like
so
working over.
If we bought paintings, then we're cheap.
Oh. Oh. Like pulls herself up like,
He rolls
oh.
his eyes.
Like puts the hand to chest and everything like she has clearly created a, you know, some grave offense. Like, oh, well. Looking over at the painting all the same.
And when the food eventually comes, he gets the guy at the door. The guy at the door shits himself because Scarlet's got 4 rage.
Charlotte
Takes
will listen
food
to
off
this.
and runs.
Charlotte will listen to the exchange with some amusement because
He's like,
it's funny.
thank you. And then, you know, and hands him the thing and comes back in.
She like leans over as he's walking back in to like peer out the doorway. Did he even stay long enough for you to tip him?
No. I was going to, but he walks over to the huge dining room table, which is all oak and shit.
He like glances
Lays down
over
the-
and like, are you serious? But follows him.
Yes. If we're going to eat, we're going to eat properly in my house.
Are you gonna
That's,
pull out the
um,
fine
the bag
china
with
for the
purpose.
pizza?
No, we're not going to use the fine china. Then it would dirty the fine china. Charlotte, keep up.
Oh, the less fine china then. She like finds a seat there.
Yes. We will use the secondary dinner china. God. You know, he rolls his eyes. Get with the program.
Wait a minute. She like finally hops up, like she's just sat down and she very abruptly hops up and like scampers into the kitchen. She will not be stopped. She starts doing that thing you do where you go into an unfamiliar kitchen and you're like, this cabinet? No. This cabinet? No. This cabinet? Maybe.
What?
Nope. This cabinet? I'm looking to see if you have any glasses that aren't fine china, because I have suspicions.
There's glasses there that aren't fine china.
Ha! I was wrong. Like, she like says this, takes a second, deflates slightly, like, oh, I was wrong. Meh.
Go back and sit down, young lady.
Fine. Going. Like, skirts
Takes
out
it.
the kitchen.
Takes out 2 glasses, you know, knife and a fork for both of them, lays it down in front of her, lays the plate down, and over you go. And just plops the pizza box on top of the plate.
Oh, pizza box.
Yep. Does the same thing and sits down across from her on this huge, long oaken table and just nods like, yeah, that's right.
Please tell me they're the short ways across and not at opposite ends of a fucking gigantic table. The
Yep.
one might be. Which one is it? Because they're both funny.
I think they'll probably do the across because the long ways across is just too awkward, so he just sits across from you.
He plops the whole fucking box on the plate, and for a second, she had doubt in her heart. And he puts the pizza box on the entire plate, and she just kind of head tilts faintly and starts kind of laughing. She's like, oh, thank God. I thought you were going to eat pizza with a fork.
No, we just have to keep up appearances.
Oh.
God, Charlotte.
Oh, well, little did I fucking know. Sure you don't want to pull out wine glasses for the Pepsi?
I can get those if you like.
That seems excessive.
Oh, there's nothing too excessive. I'm a silver fang. She stands up, takes out the 2 very fine wine glasses and pours them out like, "Milady." You know, as he pours them out for you. And
She looks like she sounds like a tire slowly losing its air. She's trying so hard to suppress it, but the snickering is making her shoulders shake.
and sits down finally. Takes the napkin and flicks it and puts it on his lap.
Oh my God.
Now, there you go. This is how silver fangs eat pizza, Charlotte.
On a really fancy plate.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. You're ridiculous.
Mark's shaking his head.
She will not hesitate to eat, like, delicious, greasy, like, fucking Papa John's pizza because, god damn it, she has been eating homemade food and, like, reheatable food and whatever people cook. But you know what? There is something very endearing about, like, greasy fucking ordering food. If she hasn't had it in
Yeah, he
a
devours
hot
it.
minute.
He devours it. Like, inhales it.
Yep, she is not quite on the level of most Aruns, but man, before she knows it, like, near half the pizza's gone. She's still, like, just looking around and taking in the fact that it's like, this is a no shit, big ass, fancy fuck off dining room. It's any luck we're not doing, like, some Beauty and the Beast shit with opposite ends of the fucking table, thank God, but, like, just having a moment. And when she finally does get, like, the winning photo, I don't know what she's going to give the person who comes up with the best one. She'll have to think of something. She will eventually like access the wireless printer and just no shit print it off. So somewhere in the house, like she picks up her phone, it kind of grins, does some clicking, and a printer starts up in like a random fuck off room somewhere.
Like an eyebrow raise.
What?
Oh, nothing. Nothing.
Just doing my shit. You have security cameras. Who the fuck can afford that? Really? Points.
I'm a Silverfang. From one of the oldest Silverfang houses. I think it's the oldest.
Yeah, probably. They're like old by association.
So, lean back in the chair. Looks a lot more comfortable now, actually.
So,
What's your plan then? What's your plan then, Firefly?
what, my plan?
Mm-hmm.
Which plan? You have to be very specific.
Working for the Shadow Lords.
It's like an awkward shrug. Would you believe me if I said I kind of started doing it out of spite?
Yes.
Yeah, I started doing it out of spite. And, they're not bad people to be in the know with.
They're not.
It's one of those things like, they may, yeah, it may be diametrically opposed to Carved shoves pizza in face.
Is that the only reason you align yourself with them?
I was kind of heated at the time.
Do you need it now?
I don't know. Kind of eyeballs her pizza as if it's betrayed her. Why doesn't this pizza have the answers? I don't know. I know I'm doomed to eternal shame because sooner or later I'm going to have to go to fancy southern tea or dinner and embarrass myself. But, I like to think I'll eventually get this perfect magical insight on which way is the right way to go with this because I don't know. I didn't realize how hard I was picking a side at the time.
You know, I've noticed something about you.
Hmm?
He takes a drink. He actually gets up and walks over to one of the cabinets and pours out, and that's no shit. That's a very old bottle of wine. Examines it, closes the cupboard again, pours it into the glass, takes a sip, and is like, shakes it, offering at you.
She shrugs, might as well. What are the chances she's gonna like casually get access to wine that good again? So
Pours
fuck
it,
it.
dumps it onto the table. It's nice wine, very old, very crisp.
Then yeah, she'll curiously investigate the wine, but still be kind of like watching / listening because he led with half a sentence and she's waiting for the other half to hit.
When you and I seem to speak on the same things and offer the same advice to people, we seem to move people in certain ways.
I like to think I make a compelling argument.
You do. But you're fighting for the wrong reasons.
Probably. Depends on which reasons you're talking about. I have lots of reasons that I tell myself are very good reasons.
There's a difference between telling yourself and believing.
There is. There is a very distinct difference.
He takes another sip. Do you think the Shadow Lords will let you have your reasons?
kind of a thoughtful little nose scrunch as she sits there with her pizza box on a fancy plate and her glass of really, really old wine. That's probably the most expensive thing she's ever drank in her life. Suppose that depends on how convincingly I make it sound like my reasons line up with their goals. Really?
Do you honestly believe that?
Kind of like idly fiddles with the edge of the pizza box with her free hand. Find that most people can kind of be convinced into a thing as long as they feel like it lines up with what they want.
Is that the reason you want to convince people?
No, not really. Just shrugs.
Then why be something you're not?
Because, contrary to popular belief, I don't have as much of a long game as people think I do. And at the time, she kind of shrugs. I felt safer. I've scared the crap out of me. Marcel scared the crap out of me. Knowing that I was working with people who were opposing them in any kind of way felt safer. And there's been some eye-opening moments. I feel like there's going to be more eye-opening moments. And I don't dislike them, just... And the more I see the big picture, the more I realize I don't know. It's really hard to stick to your goals. You like kind of air quotes it with her free hand. When you realize your goals are kind of like baby steps, and there's so much bigger shit going on, you don't even know what it is. It's like going swimming and thinking, man, I'm having a great time, and knowing, coming to realize there are way, way bigger things in the water. You don't even know what they are, but you know they're there.
And does that scare you?
So, I mean, kind of. I don't like being out of the loop. I don't like not knowing what's going on. It's almost like I was named for trying to make sure I knew what was going on and that anyone who needed to did.
It's funny. The further this thing will get, that's when the contradictions will appear. Simple things that we thought were great at the time will become our greatest conflicts over. I suppose that'll be when we know something's actually truly getting interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going from Candyland to Game of Thrones real fast. It's a hell of a change in the board game, I tell you. Snags a pepperoni off one of the slices of pizza. Eats it.
But if you were to be truly free of the things that we've been fighting for, there's going to have to be a dark moment here and there, Charlotte.
There's a lot of dark moments.
Right now, the time calls for dark men and dark women to do dark things. Because it takes another drink. There is that moment of terror we all feel. Right at the end, right at the start, right at everything. Where everything seems to just be hopeless as you look down at the deep end. But I can't believe that's all there is.
I don't think it is. I feel like that's just one... Again, it's kind of like that step of going to realizing there's a way bigger thing there. Like, this seemed like such a big deal, but I feel like there's even bigger shit. And to someone else, that's like kitty shit.
So why are you staying with people who are just going to leave you drowning in that end and not taking the step for the people that need it?
Probably because I don't know who needs it. Maybe
Do you
because
really?
there's no guarantee that they'll throw me a lifeline, but they might. I don't know. She kind of shrugs. The more it's getting questioned, the more it's becoming clear that she really doesn't have answers, and she's just kind of pulling what she can and throwing it out there because she doesn't like sounding like she doesn't know what's going on. But yeah, I mean, Skyroot was a goddamn Galliard, and I know he has the dice to back it up. So it becomes more and more clear that Charlotte is uncomfortably unaware and trying really hard to pretend she has any control over the situation and doesn't.
Just stand up very slowly, put the wine down and walk over and sit on the table across, like next to her. Do you really think the true catcher is going to let you have your ideals? Do you really think those Shadow Lords out there are really going to give you what you want to get? Do you really think you can achieve peace with them harrying you at the back? Or will you just be another tool for them? If you can answer me that without doubt in your heart, Charlotte, then I'll drop this conversation.
I know I'm a tool. That's why it's a job, not a friendship. But they're doing dark shit, but dark shit needs doing, I guess. It's kind of
Does
weird.
she look down at all when she's saying that?
Yeah, she's looking at the glass. When she's saying.
He lifts her chin up. You're not a tool.
I mean, aren't we all kind of at lower ranks? We're shock troops.
Look at me. You're not. And if you're half the guru I think you are, you realize that very quickly. Because change is coming. And I plan to be at the epicenter of it all, and I will need people who can bring the change with me. Stand for the right reasons. For the right people.
What are you going to do?
Do you think you can do that, Charlotte?
I mean, yeah. Just as long as we both believe the same things are the right reasons. And I'm really
what do you think is the right?
That.
And what do you think the right reasons are?
I mean, at least you're looking forward and not looking backward. I want us to be better. Like, I know that's a thing that people don't like to hear, but we're always looking backwards. Everything that keeps happening is something that's old cropping up again. We need to be able to move forward. And I can't. I feel like you're functioning on a level I really can't even see, but I don't know.
There's a difference between living in the past and accepting it for what it is and learning to achieve what's forward.
Yeah.
That is the true victory. That is the true meaning of what we are in this world.
There's nothing wrong with learning from the past, but having it chained to your ankles, like something you have to carry along.
I know you're passionate about solving this get problem.
I mean, I can't on the level that I want to.
No, you can't. But you can do something far greater than that.
There's kind of a curious glance. He has garnered her attention.
One person cannot change an entire family. But one person can influence members of that family to change themselves to bring the change. Our greatest strength is our deepest fear, which is not that we are inadequate, is that we underestimate the power we have on each other. If you can make them believe that they want to be this way, they want to now move forward in the way that they understand, then you have power that very few achieve in their lives. And it's not power to abuse. It's what we are.
And she's just kind of twirling the wine glass slowly, thoughtfully. Like it's not some, classy gesture. It's a kid playing with a wine glass, really. I just want to move up and make the right things happen and not do it the wrong way. I don't want to be like Carves.
There's a difference between taking things the way you want them to go and changing the people around them to the way that needs to be changed. Carves takes what he wants, garners people the way he wants them to garner. But I think what you want is to change them so that now they make the decision themselves, not you make that for them.
Yeah.
Then help them realize it and not make them realize it. There's a difference between force and a hand or a gentle shoulder. Sometimes just a reminder.
Just a nod. Finally,
I
just
know,
kind of gently sets the wine glass on the table.
I know there's a get pack down south. I know if you go out west, there is more than just get. There is Silverfangs, there is Fianna. If you make the get believe in each other again, you give them the motivation, you give them everything. Rather than just war, they'll give you themselves and what they all want, which is freedom.
Yeah, but if you just walk up and offer them freedom from...
But you don't just walk up.
Nope. They get mad.
You make it sure it's the way that they understand. And sometimes that will have to be with a harsh word. Or a great, great, great speech. If you mean it from here, he taps his chest. You show them. They'll follow you to the ends of the earth.
Man, I only saw 2 fucking sets on the chessboard. I thought I picked the right one, and then it turned out they were alike. This is a way more complicated game than that. Yeah, she sets the glass down.
He'll like reach and touch her hair and like give her a very kind of headed, kind of gentle rub. The Get Down South are looking for a new cairn. Maybe instead of them taking and seizing the land, maybe you could be the force that forces them to settle both families. Maybe you can be the bringer of peace instead of a harbinger of war. Maybe you could influence them to be that. The claim of the land.
It'd be so much easier if they had someone outside of those families to reinforce, so it wasn't about competing with each other.
And look at you.
Is it weird? She kind of finally looks aside. She doesn't mind the hair ruffle at all. She's pretty used to it, really. At this point, she just kind of takes reassurance from it. Is it weird to look at them and see that, like, yeah, their history is amazing. And they could do so much if they were allied and fighting the same thing. And it almost hurts to look at them and see them split off into groups. And even when they finally, any two work together, they have to strip themselves of all the things that make them part of their own group to do it.
So give them something that they can never strip themselves away from. Lena Trimbenson follows me because I don't ask her to be anything else but Lena Trimbenson. But she believes in that thing that makes her think that that cause, that goal, that needs Lena Trimbenson in it. Give them the goal that they can never question themselves. The claim of the land, who they are, what they are. So neither Ulrichson, Trimbenson, or Redmond, or whoever it is, they all want the same thing.
She finally kind of like starts fiddling with the glass again. Do they know what they want? She kind of glances over.
Some of them do.
Because I feel like if I talk to that pack, they'd say they want this cairn. But that's not what they want.
I've heard they want something more. And then they want to make sure that when they finally get the thing they want, they want to begin again.
Beginning again doesn't have to mean resetting the board, it just means joining it.
Maybe you should ask your friend Leaf.
I tried to talk to him about it. I fucked it up.
That doesn't mean he's still not your friend.
No, I know.
And don't take it as a lesson and not a failure.
No, I know. It's just kind of squints. It's hard.
It is. I cannot tell you the countless times I wanted to throw these glasses at the walls talking to Lena. And she's a lot more stubborn than Leaf is.
So what did you find that you needed her for?
I wanted Lena to believe again. That she doesn't have to hide away. behind some notion of honor. And instead she can stand out in the open where everyone else can see her. I wanted Lena Trimbenson to be Lena Trimbenson again. Not Lena Trimbenson, sister of Maria and Ajax Trimbenson.
Ooh. That gets another round of like really like there's a visible response as she kind of keys in on that and starts kind of the gears start turning again. What did you do?
I was honest with her, but in her way, so she knew that I came from a position of care, and not disrespect to who she is and what she has done. But she knew that I would not say this if I did not value who she is.
What did you say?
Ajax is gone. And you were never his to begin with. Kept asking her, what is her name? She hit me a few times, but I kept asking her. Until she finally said, she is just Lena Trimbenson.
Until all the other stuff fell off of it, huh?
Yes. And then she asked to join my pack. Because I believe that we can succeed no matter the cost or struggle that we give ourselves with.
It's she's chewing her lip thoughtfully. Like rolls in the lower lip and is just kind of nibbling on it. Then if you were where I am, what would you do? You don't just tell the truth, Catcher, no. And
I would do his work. I would do what I needed to do. But when the time came, I would make my stand. And when the time came, I would make sure that people were there to stand with me. And not even the true Catcher himself can combat. Because he may be one man, and his Shadow Lords may be a pack. But he cannot punish us all. Not if we stand for the same thing that he knows he can't fight against.
What can't he fight?
The truth. The right thing. And a Guru that understands who she is.
And by now she's gotten to the point where she's like, not uncomfortably, but if anything, kind of more comfortably, kind of tucked up in the chair, you know, like has the heels of her feet, has like kicked off her shoes, so she's not putting them on the seat, but, you know, has her heels tucked up on the seat. It's kind of like pulled herself up into it, nested in it almost. Gallows aren't all bad. I wouldn't want to lose the connection to people who know what's happening. Besides, the people are dying.
Then give them the reason to stay with you.
I'm trying.
Crows don't run from loyalty.
But if I stand up against a truth catcher, won't they think it's being disloyal?
Depends on what they think.
Another kind of thoughtful little nod. Ironically, I don't think the light can go where I need to go anyways.
And why not?
You want to see?
Gives a head tilt.
Starts, like, reaches down to her bag, because she always has a bag with her. If nothing else, to carry a laptop, an iPad, whatever. She pulls up the iPad, starts it up, flicks through things, and goes to retrieve the footage. Footage from the cameras that get blacked out by just clouds of darkness.
Hmm.
And yeah, she pulls it up, plays it, flicks to the next one. You know, it's slightly different cameras, it's different places, it's different angles, but it's always the same approach. I got stuck in that once. I don't know what it is. I don't know how they're doing it. But I'm pretty sure anything short of the sun isn't enough. It ruffles her hair. Or picking
Then
off
you
Grasswalker Ken. I'm pretty sure it's my fault.
then do what you need to do to correct it. And don't hide.
Not hiding.
Yes, you are.
This is over.
Hiding behind the logic you so praise.
How am I hiding?
Look at you. You tell me you're trying. You tell me this. You are so ready to defend yourself with such pinpoint defenses, but yet you don't know the answers to which you seek. You're afraid to take that next step. You're so afraid of what will happen, which is normal.
What's the next step? I don't even see the next step.
You're already figuring it out.
I'm just kind of shrugs, building.
Then build and don't try. To fear what you fear is a choice. And you make the decision to be afraid of that next step or to claim you don't know it when in your heart and soul you know what you have to do. That's the choice you make.
And she ponders this for a second, clicks off the screen, just kind of staring at her reflection in it for a hot second. I just get
stuck because it's really easy to sit here and say that this is the best way to go forward. But if I just chase that, what about, she kind of gestures to the dead iPad screen. What about all the other things that I need to be upkeeping at the same time?
Chase it and keep aware. I think it's time for you to stop hiding in the shadows, hoping that someone will pick up the pieces that you are now picking up. I think it's time. Charlotte Sullivan. She gears up. There's a lot of eyes coming at you.
Oh, God.
A lot of successes. He lifts up your chin so you look at him in his deep, deep green eyes, the red hair. Like he almost shines. You know what I mean? Jesus. I think it's time for you to take lead and take charge. So when you find yourself at the impasse, you now know you have a person to stand with you and take some of the burden on your shoulders. I think it is time that instead of hiding, step into the light. You've waited in the darkness long enough. Now, you take that step forward. Don't be the one who urges, be the one who steps. And they'll all fall into place. But don't hide from it. Be it.
And yeah, it hits her pretty good. And there's a pause, and yeah, there's some awe in the fact that is I assume that was a lot of leadership that just hit her.
Mm-hmm. With
Yeah.
some persuasion. So that's a fuck ton of successes, Katie.
Oh my god.
That is I will count that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah. And yeah, it hits her. It resonates. It clearly resonates. And after a second, I mean, she kind of relaxes almost. And kind of grins. It's almost like you've been talking to Leaf. Pulls herself up a bit in the chair. Like, she's kind of slouched over time, but pulls herself up a bit.
It's almost as if Leaf's been talking to me.
Really? Like, bleh, Lance?
I talk to the Geth. He's an intelligent man.
I know he is.
Besides, my people, this is what we are bred for. To give others hope where they have none. And to make them see sometimes. We need to step into the light like the rest of us. Even when the light may seem so dim.
Seems really nice to be bred for a thing sometimes.
I earned this. I may have been born with the blood. But sometimes you have to earn what you need to earn for people to follow you. And you have earned. So go out and do it.
Ma'am.
You're not yet. But I think you will after this.
What?
You're still not an alpha yet.
I'm working on it.
I suspect in the next 2 weeks, I suspect you will be.
No, I will.
Then go and be it.
Going to. Already decided that.
Now you have.
It's like that moment of like, might be feeling better about it.
And don't hesitate, because you're afraid of hurting someone. In the end, you not enacting hurts them greater.
And hurts
Even
more
if-
people than just them.
Yeah. So, the question you're going to ask yourself now, Charlotte Sullivan, you may do your work for the True Catcher, but considering you're about to become a budding new alpha, lean forward. How would you like to be part of the change that comes across on this sept?
It's the kind of change we've been talking about. Yeah. Yeah, I want it.
Well, then I consider us then allies. Which means that we are loyal together.
So not.
One alpha to another.
Yeah.
Which means we're going to need more than just you and me and Marpax. I think I've already given you the hint of where you need to start next.
I'll talk to Leaf again.
See if you can finally bring the get together. You leave the Master of Challenges to me.
Kind of a quirk of the brow.
Looks off like, as he takes a sip of wine, like, that's not my business. You know what I mean? We'll need someone who can adjudicate fairly.
Yeah.
As well as you. And the gleaming eyes will finally be opened, and perhaps he'll need a crescent moon to guide his way. There's a wink.
I do hear you guys hang out. Innocent hair ruffle. Like
I said, it's that appearance for breed 4, like, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, I know what I'm doing.
that appearance for pure breed 4. Like, buh.
Mm-hmm. He's about as pretty, like, he basically Felix except older. You know what I mean? Pretty.
Yep. Man, this pizza though. I'm gonna look at that for a second. That's blinding.
Glorious. No, you don't hear that echoed from the house. Reverberates off the walls and everything.
So I guess the real question I need to ask myself is what they all actually want.
Well,
Even if they don't know they want it.
I do hear Runesfar will be coming up to the Sept very soon. Maybe if you talk to your friend Leaf, you can already have a plan.
Yeah.
Pats her arm. Did you hear the door swing open?
Lean. Nosy.
Sticks her head in.
Points.
What are you doing here?
Squinty face.
Looking at Charlotte. You know what I mean?
It's the you plotted this squinty face.
What are you doing here?
Eating really cheap pizza and drinking really expensive wine. Sage nod.
She lean against the door and look at Skyripper, looks at you, like, kind of does a double take, like, duh. Do you know what I mean?
There's like I'm peeing the shit out of both of them because I don't believe for a second she didn't know I was here.
Do it, peeing it. She still does a double take. Skyripper anyway. That's that. I can give you for free. She's like, holy shit, you shaved. You know what I mean? Whew.
That much I will believe. That one thing I will believe. But I don't believe for a second that she didn't know I was here. And probably exactly the nature of the conversation. Watching you.
Peeing it, do it. Do it. Do it, Key.
You should have bought my empathy higher.
Should have.
I went for athletic. I like living. And I don't think alertness or attentive will apply to this, which is a crying shame. Duel!
Yeah. Oh, she knew. Oh, yeah. It's that little soft smile on her face.
That little pointy finger she was doing intensifies. Like it does the little shake like, I know your shit.
So did she say yes? She'll look up at Scarborough, nod. Then it runs over. Gives you like you get lifted up in the air.
She like the oncoming Lena, and she just sets down the wine glass. Like, oh god, brace for impact. Sets down the wine glass, gets scooped. Like, ugh!
Hang on now, gotta get the other pack, mate.
Oh god.
Probably from the garden, you see her coming in.
She still scooped, like, ugh! Oh, look, it's like a pincer attack. Oh god.
Comes in. No hard feelings, right?
I hope not.
No, if there's hard feelings, I would have looked at Scarborough. I would have mildly shouted at you.
Only mildly?
Yes.
Definitely not yelling, just raising your voice though, right?
Mildly shouting, we'll put that.
Oh. Well, that's...
Scarborough comes and puts his arms around Margaret Thorns. Don't mind her. She's getting ready to challenge for Adrian, aren't you? Nods, grumbling, like, me. Do you know what I mean?
Even Charlotte, like, off her fucking feet, like, scooped up by a goddamn Get is like, good!
So what we're saying is, while you may not be able to join our pack, we will consider you a valuable ally for when you form yours.
Even with the dubious company I'm keeping? Like, eyebrow waggles, looks down at Leno, squinty face.
Lena sets her down back in the chair. They go pat pat. And Scarborough say very firmly, like it's the tone of like the dad is talking. You know what I mean?
No.
You know, as long as you can keep them under control and they do not hinder our plans anymore, as long as you are the alpha and you alone command that authority, that respect, then yes.
Oh. Fortuitous, because that's the plan.
Good. And see it done.
Gonna.
I will take Wormfall, and we will begin bringing the change that's needed, regardless of who you work for. Sometimes you have to work for things within. That does not mean you're not on our side.
There's a light nod. Understanding.
Then it just leans back. And perhaps you can make others believe.
There's finally another, like, side glance and finally another squinty eye for Lena. And she didn't even, like, subtle it. She just goes, how long have you been setting me up for this?
Since you first landed in my lap.
Oh. That little nod of like, oh, yeah, I was totally prepared for that answer. She wasn't prepared for that answer. Like, oh.
You're my favorite. Looks off in the distance like, well, I didn't say that. Takes a drink, like, takes the wine off Skyripper and takes a drink of it.
It's like the sus glance because, man, that was an eventful cubhood and they did not get along.
You are my favorite. You're my favorite because you are most like me, stubborn as a mule.
Well, if that's a positive trait now, man, I'm going to be popular.
And then it just turns. She gives you that very proud motherly look. You know what I mean? We believe in you.
That's a lot more than I expected, really. So,
I even believe in you. Ruffles your hair with her knuckles.
She admittedly, that's probably the most surprising of the three of them. Like, getting Skyripper's attention is like a senpai moment,
But a positive note from the Fianna when she has had several headbutts now is
Look,
pretty
you may
good.
be an uppity shite, looks at Skyripper. I said uppity. But my cousin liked you. And Maria likes you. And while we may differ, you're fighting for the same reason we are. And I believe in that reason, and my cousin died for that reason. So if you are in for the same cause as we are, then I believe in you.
It is the most awkward but dorky grin. Finally, she's like, "Ooh!" and like, mad dashes out of the room for a half a second. She knows where that printer is. She heard it.
They all kind of look at each other like, "Duh." Do you know what I mean? Ha.
And yeah, she will find that fucking printer. And she is hedging her bets that there was probably really high quality paper in it because fucking Silverfang.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Yes.
And she will having nosed around, was there a supply closet of any sort, anything like that?
Yes.
Because considering how many framed pictures there are around here, she's willing to hedge her bets that there are frames for more pictures set aside in standard sizes. And yeah, if she can find one, she's going to swack that photo in it.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Going to swack the photo in it. And yeah, does the excited kid run down the stairs, you know? Taking them like an unhealthy number at a time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, clinging onto the rail so she doesn't completely eat shit, but at a dangerous speed, down the staircase, breakneck. And she will find one of the spots. There has to be a spot that doesn't have a photo in it yet, or where one can easily nest. And she will fucking go in to whatever room that is, and she will plunk it there for all the world like it fucking belongs there.
Yeah, it's a very goofy photo of the Skyripper, Lena, and Marcus Horns.
Yeah, just something that was very natural and very, I don't know, wasn't a very put on public face. She didn't want that.
It's essentially Skyripper sitting down rubbing his face as Lena and Marcus Horns are having a very animated conversation.
We'll call it an animated conversation.
Yeah.
And yeah, I imagine heads will pop in, but yeah, she scampers off into the appropriate room where there's, you know, a place for photos, or anywhere where there's like a shelf that has a spot and it's like, dunk.
And finally, the door opens for the fourth time.
Lance?
Walks in.
Slow lean towards whichever doorway leads back towards the dining room. You didn't order enough pizza.
You walk in, kind of examine Charlotte up and down.
For what it's worth, Charlotte actually looks unusually comfortable in her skin right now. She doesn't feel like she doesn't belong here, so she's not going to get weird about it. Just kind of looks back.
Where is the one known as Skyripper?
I mean, did any heads poke in?
No, you can hear them talking. What the fuck is she doing? You know what I mean? You just hear Skyripper. Let her have her fun. Otherwise, she'll get sassy.
She will. And she kind of glances back at the photo, but they'll see it now is no longer the moment. And she's like, this way, come on. And like gives a little gesture. And
walks in with the leather jacket, kind of ruffling the back of his head.
And yeah, she will. Again, for all the world, like she totally belongs in this house because she's had a chance to explore it and does not feel completely out of place. We'll lead him back around and poke her head in first. You have company.
Mendo will turn and look at Skyripper. Skyripper just nods. You can stay if you want.
Blinks, glances, looks over to her fancy plate with a pizza box on it.
Then just taps the table beside her, like, you know, that space beside her, like.
Yep. She's been invited. She's sticking around. She will, in fact, hop into that seat pretty eager-like.
So the Master Challenges walks in, looks at everybody, walks over and gives that kind of warrior grip to Skyripper, you know, the, like, elbows. The challenge will be tomorrow. The gauntlet. You receive 2, 1 shot each, and then into his blades. We both know your leaderships. Now it's to see how you rally and fight. Burbage nods. But I'm not here for that. Looks at Charlotte Sullivan again. Looks right at you and looks at Skyripper. You know what I mean? Like, huh? Jafuffa?
Charlotte has, like, over the course of this, done that, like, slow, carefully not interrupting lean across the table, snagged the wine glass, slowly pulled it back over, and is, like, halfway through that, that's none of my business sip as she gets glanced at and is like, but... kind of looks up at Lena like, wait. But doesn't... Oh! Sets down my glass. Pops up to offer a very respectful little nod. Charlotte Sullivan, Hamid-born Philodox, Glasswalker, and Fostering. Known to the nation as Firefly. Side glance very briefly over to Skyripper.
Small little smirk, like, I see you, buddy. Do you know what I mean? Hanging Talon. Philodox, agent to the nation. Silver Fang of House Gleaming Eye. I hear you're meant to be our friend.
You hear correctly, Raya.
Extends his hand.
Yeah, she'll offer hers.
Good. Turns and looks at Margaret Thorns. Your challenge is next week. She makes a scrunchy, like, do you know what I mean, face?
Scrunchy face!
Scarp will just say, putting his arms around both of you, and you and the Master's challenges, and this is where the scene will end. He finishes on sign. Welcome to the cause.